I'm going to put dual. We're going to dual. No, we're not, but dual layout. We're going to, why is there only one option now? There's only one option. Why is there only one option? Okay. All right. Hello. Welcome. If you are new to me, let me know that you're new to the channel. You guys, I'm going to, oh man, I need to flip it around. Oh, I did it. Oh, you can do it by just tapping. Oh my gosh. Okay. How cool is this? This is cool. I didn't know you could do this. So what you're actually going to see here is not that. I'm going to actually show you some pictures. Oh, I got so many windows open. Okay. So let's back this up a little bit because what I'm about to show you, can I move this? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, so what I'm about to show you is, this is day number 5. If you guys, I'm sorry, I had to get things set up. I was a little sketchy here. I didn't know what I was doing. And it was a little bit of a mess, but we're on track now. I'm going to show you, we're going to start. If you are new to me and you never saw the first 4 days of my testimony, you're going to want to go back and you're going to, if you're interested, you're going to want to go back. Where is it? You're going to want to go back and have a look and listen to everything else, okay? Because I'm actually going back. So 2018, I talked about 2019, 2020, the year of the sea. In 2021, we're in 2021 now, talking about what has actually happened. So in 2020, we talked about the ministry and doing the nursing homes and actually ministering, like being available to the people out the back and not just the front of the store. So that's kind of where I'm going to take off. So in 2021, all right, welcome. If you're watching this later, if you could just drop a comment in the comments. If you are not watching me, if you are on this and you are not watching, can I jot something down here? Am I allowed to do my own comment? Can I comment? Okay. It says it. I don't think it's going to let me. Okay. Maybe it will. Okay. So go sit down, please. Go sit down, please. Love you too, honey bun. Okay. So we're in 2020. What are we in? 2021 now? I'm talking about 2021. So in 2021, coming out of that 2020 year was really hard on a lot of people, including me. But in 2021, I had designated that room inside of the thrift store. Let me pull up. Let me start sharing my screen. And we're going to get into the pictures, okay? Because it's always nice to be able to talk and share about something when you can see, right? So let me share. And 2021. So the beginning of 2021 was just normal for me. It wasn't, if you have never seen any of this that I'm talking about, you can actually go. This was a store. I'm not going to go back all through the first 4 days that I've already talked about. But if you are new, that is the store that we started by faith in 2018. So that room that I had originally designated, this room right here, the one that I actually designated to be for the ministry, I never got to use it. Never. I mean, I used it for the thrift store, but I never got to use it for what I thought was the intended use, which was to actually put on like movies for kids and give parents a break and give the kids the gospel. That was the whole the whole idea of this room, but I never had the opportunity. It was always full. I had this goal of cleaning it right out and being able to use it. It was impossible. And when I say impossible, there was no sign of me actually ever having that room even close to being cleaned out. I tried so hard and it just never happened. So let me explain to you what in 2021, what the Lord did. Okay. So I'm going to try to tell you this. 2021, it is so strange to me. The phone rang. Okay. The phone rang and I answered the phone, and a woman on the other line said, now let me reverse a little bit. I made a website. Okay. And I made the website in 2018 and I called it Crosshouse Ministries. Um, and I said, this is what I said. I said, we're going to do events. Well, I didn't like, I assumed it was going to be in this room and it was going to be movies for kids. So that was what I was thinking. Right. Well, I made a website by faith. Okay. By faith, I made that website and I put the information there. When I look back at that website, my son and I used to laugh about it because it was awful. It was an awful website. And the truth of the matter is that I just kind of like put it together by faith and I let it sit there. Well, the Lord used that terrible looking website because it was terrible looking. It was very plain. It wasn't very detailed. And God used it anyways, which is really, really cool because it is nothing to what it is now. But I put it up there by faith, believing that God was going to use that room. That's what I thought. Well, the phone rang in 2021, and this woman on the other end said, I saw your website and saw that you actually um, do events. Would you be willing? Let me minimize this for a second. Would you be willing to do an event? And I was like, do an event. And I got all excited. I couldn't believe that the phone rang. I couldn't believe that somebody was asking me, would you actually do this? And I thought, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I agreed to it under one condition. And my condition was, as long as you understand that the gospel is going to be preached, then yes, I will do this. They wanted me to hold it in the parking lot of where the thrift store was located. And I was like, yeah, okay. That was my only thing. My only thing. I never, we never talked about money. We never talked about anything. I just said, yeah, I'll do it. I didn't even ask. Like, I just said, I'll do it. And so I didn't know how the money was going to come. I didn't know where the money was going to come from. She never talked about money. She pretty much just was like, hey, can you do this? And I said, yes. Jay, did you get Walmart? Can you get it, please? I'll get it. Shh, no, don't open that door without Jay, please. Sorry, guys. This is mom recording. Okay. So I don't know what I was thinking. Honestly, I can tell you this. I don't know what I was thinking. I just said to the woman, yes, I'll do it. As long as you understand that there's going to be a message, a gospel message, and that they're going to hear the Lord. Like they're going to hear an opportunity to receive Jesus. She was like all gung ho about it. And I was shocked. So in that, but for the next like couple weeks, I actually was like, well, I talked to my son. We started praying about it. I was like, we're going to do this out front. I had never in my life, when I say never in my life, I mean never, ever have ever put on an event, not even one event. Like, yeah, my kid's birthday party, but is that an event? I don't think so. So, we began praying. I began praying. Well, 2 weeks out, she had called me a couple times. She would say, hey, how's it going? I was like, good, good, good. I have these games that I would like to bring in from Dallas. And I said, I have the what do you call it? Permission to use the parking lot of the plaza. And so she was like, "Oh, that's great." And I was like, "Yeah, it's all good. We're good to go." And I said, "And I'm trying to raise money to actually do this because the thrift store didn't like it just covered itself. Like that thrift, because of the pricing structure, I guess in the store, I didn't I never overpriced. Okay. If anything, I probably underpriced us, and that's okay. It is what it is. But that thrift store just was barely there. And when I say barely, I mean barely. So there was no way the thrift was going to fund the event. And there was no way we had no money coming in for the ministry, none at all. I never advertised anything about the ministry. So the ministry was kind of ministry in word, but that was it. So we began that praying and began seeking, and my son and I, and then about 2 weeks out, okay, 2 weeks out, she calls me and she says, "How's it going?" And I said, "Good." And she goes, "How much have you raised?" Then I was like, I think it was at 2,000. And I said, 2,000. And she goes, "And how much do you need?" And I said, "Probably 10." And she was like, "Okay." And she goes, "How come you never ask for any money?" Then I stopped and I was like, what do you mean ask for money? I'm not going to ask for money. I'm doing, I'm God's going to provide, and I'm phoning around trying to raise money from people, local people. And so she was like, "Well, it's 2 weeks away." Like I can't remember exactly that conversation word for word, but I will say she was like, "It's coming up." And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "So what's going to happen?" And I was like, "Well, I'm just going to leave it with God. Like I'm doing everything I can do. I'm trying to raise the money to put this $10,000 event on. $10,000 event when I'm just barely getting by, okay? And I didn't have money. I didn't have any money. So the best part about this, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of fumbling, but it's not every day you tell a story and have to this is the first time I've ever told this. The first time I've ever shared about this. Um so in that conversation, she said to me, "I have somebody that said they would pay for everything." Um, and about, I don't even know, maybe a couple days before, I was broken. I was upset. I was scared. I was nervous. I was like, what are we going to do? Um, I didn't have the money to, I couldn't raise the money. I couldn't raise enough money. I couldn't do it. And she said, "I have somebody that will pay for all of it." And I was blown away. I sat there in shock. I remember thinking, wow. And I don't know to this day who it was. I'll never know. She said they want to remain anonymous. And I think it was like a group of people, but I'm not really sure. And that set it all in motion. Like that was 2 weeks out. And let me tell you something. When she called me, it was probably, I think it was 4 weeks out, maybe six. I have to go check my diary. 4 to 6, maybe. So, anyways, that was the here you go, now go. Like I had already phoned and found out how much everything was going to cost. And so I knew I had the total, right? And when I gave her that, I had given her that maybe like a week, or I don't even know the time frame. I know I had given her the amount before, but I didn't understand her involvement in anything. I thought she was basically just um, asking if we would put this on. This is what I thought. I thought she was asking if we would do this for the people that were living in low income housing and focus on teens. And my heart is with teens. So I was like, absolutely. So I had no idea, like her pull. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know what her pull was. And so when she said that, well, everything started running. And I just kind of thought that she was going to reach out to the people that were living in the low income housing and tell them, hey, here's an event that you can take your family to, and you can get free food, and you can get get access to all the games that I was bringing in, and have just like a fun day for families. That's exactly what it was going to be, a fun day for families. Um, so, and then I set the time to be 4 hours, which now I know is probably a little bit longer than needed, but I had never done it before. So let's get to some pictures because I want to keep this. I got another 15 minutes, so we might have to continue later. So let me do I click on it? Do I just share it? How do I do this? Like that. There we go. Sorry. Okay, so let me get up to another picture. Should we go beside it? Yeah, let me go beside it. Okay. So as soon as I had the go ahead, and let me tell you something, she said she would help with, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey girl, how are you? So she said that she would actually print off the flyers and everything. So I was like, okay, that's cool. All right. I had no idea. So this was the final flyer right here. This is what we came up with. Actually, I think that this one, they actually had somebody print that for us. I think it was a combined effort with this, but that is the final flyer that was actually made up so that it would go out. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand. It was just basically you took somebody without experience, without any kind of like prior knowledge of how to put on an event at all. Like I had none, zero, zilch. So I actually set it up as an Eventbrite. So it was so people could register for the event. And I think that's, yeah, pre-register. So I did include that on there because I was like, how many people are going to come in? How do we know how many people are going to show up? So I needed a way to measure, and I knew I needed that. And I'm telling you, it's only God. Only God can tell you how to do it and when to do it. And really, at the end of the day, it is like this step. You're going to take a step. You're going to take a step. You're going to take a step. And you're not going to see the whole big picture because that's not how God works. God wants us to really fully put our faith and our trust in him. So he's not going to show you, okay, this is what it's going to look like at the end. Now can you go do it? Man, I wish it was that easy. Let me tell you something. A walk of faith, and when you're going to do something, you got to just say, you know what? If I didn't hear right, I'm going to look like the biggest, you know what, clown or whatever you want to say. But if I heard right, what happens? People get blessed. People get blessed. So that's the flyer for the event. Now, let me show you. That was the start. Now, our parking lot, and I wish I would have had more pictures, but I didn't know that I was going to be sitting here 4 years later sharing this. I thought that was it. Like you don't know until you know. Now, these were, I think this was, I don't know, I might have put this somewhere. I can't remember. It was free. We didn't charge anybody to show up for that. It was really geared towards teenagers. The whole thing was geared towards teenagers. So I wanted to bring in these things. I brought in these things, this. I don't think I'll ever do that again. And you guys might not be able to see that. Hold on. These things are at every single kind of, not every one of them, but they're at a lot of like circus events, right? And this was there. I think I got that. Yeah, I did. I got that because this was a flyer I put together. We got that, we got this, we got all of these things. It was like about 4,000, I think it was closer to $5,000 in games that were brought in from Dallas. So those were the flyers. Now, as soon as she said she was going to help, it was just passing over like invoices to them, like or to her. And I would say, here, has to be paid. This has to be paid. She never questioned any single thing that I gave her an invoice for, which was crazy to me. Like, she believed and trusted in me. And when I say that we had more than enough, we had more than enough. And when I say like ample, I mean like ample. So that event was on, I'm going to go through a bunch of pictures now. What time is it? 20. Okay. So the event, I didn't have any volunteers. I'm just going to say volunteers are not something that is easy to get. I had no volunteers. This one gentleman came into my store one day and said, he was like a friend of a friend, and said, I have a tent. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. And it was huge. When I say huge tent, I mean, he needed 10 people to set it up. It was God. It was God after God after God after God. The kinds of things you just can't do in your own power. You just can't do this stuff. So wait till you see the size of this tent. This tent, and I've got pictures of everything. The tent, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it here. See that huge white tent? That is a huge, and when I say huge white tent, I don't remember the actual like measurements of it, but it was huge. About more than, I think it sat up to 200 people. Now I wish, one thing that I didn't know and I wish I would have thought about, was actually taking like a picture of the whole event, right, like way far back, so you could see how much of the parking lot it took up. So I am going to fly. I had this banner made. I called it the Are You Strong Enough Youth Event. You guys cannot see. Yeah, it was a wow thing. Like, it was one of the biggest impacts in my life. Like, for real. Anyway, so I saw God move. There were volunteers. There's my son. There's my son on the far left in the plaid. There were volunteers that came, and that one guy brought in, I don't even remember how many volunteers. I don't know where they came from. I couldn't tell you their names. I couldn't tell you. I asked a friend to come and share a message, because at that time I was too shy. I didn't do what I do now. It was incredible, Delane. Incredible. So these are some of the pictures of the volunteers right here. They were amazing. This is evangelist Ryan Keel and his cousin. Okay. So these people, he actually did the message. He preached the message for that day. Here is, I wonder if I can click through these pictures this way. So that was one of the games in one side. There he is preaching, and we counted. There was probably 400 to 500 people that actually showed up for that event. It was a 4-hour long event. Not everybody stayed at the same time, but it was a 4-hour long event. And I probably should have, and he was praying with people. I probably should have not made it so long. We gave away cards after cards. And when I say like tons of cards, I mean like gift cards, tons of gift cards. One woman walked up to me after and said She had like a gift card for almost every kid, which was crazy to me. We had that many gift cards. And yes, it was God. Like I can't say it was me, because I'm going to tell you this, it wasn't my money. All I did was put the pieces together. That was it. I put the pieces together. Um, but it wasn't, like, that's it. So the kids loved these. There's more. They're not in any order. Free food. Everybody got free food. I had so much we had so many cases of water. We were giving them out to people after. We had goodie bags that I forgot to even give out. We were giving those out, I think, at the very last minute, um, to whoever was left there. And then we had free hot dogs, free chips, free for all the people there. Like every single person, they got free stuff. Very dear. There's me and my son and sweet Nicole. Yes, Delane. It was awesome. I was too shy to talk. And she was like, I'll do it for you. She was awesome. She is awesome. There's some more. This is brother Larry. He sat at the front. I had this got wrecked. In that day it was windy. So it was supposed to be for selfies for kids, for teenagers to stand in front of. Um, and he sat there and did we did a draw. I don't even remember how this all came together. Really, it feels feels unreal. So a lot of fun pictures. Okay, there's the basketball, and it was big. It took up a large part of the parking lot. 2021, in July 2021, when I had my thrift store. I let other people. Now this was cool, but I don't know. I won't go into it. It was cool of them to come, but I didn't realize what I had allowed, kind of thing. So you live and you learn. Some things you don't know. It was good for the kids. Let's just say that. It was great for the kids. So this was now. I have a story to tell. Okay. I don't know where I'm at with the pictures, but this thing right here. So I'm going to try and tell this, but I was walking around and there he is. That's my boy. So I was walking around and I had passed by the basketball and I was coming and he was on the ground. I don't care how old your kids get. When your kid is hurting, you're a mom. He was on the ground and I didn't realize what had happened. And I go, Jonathan, and I'm trying to get him up and he didn't move. And I was lost. And he had actually took that hammer thing and you know how they hold it up and they hit it down. Well, it came back in his face. And so he suffered some damage. He was okay, but on his lip, thank God it wasn't worse. He didn't lose any teeth. He didn't lose anything, but he did underneath his lip. It was awful. Now, let me tell you something else. At the exact same time that he hit that thing and it came back, we were only about an hour into the event. There was a person who gave their hearts to the Lord at the table, not even probably right where he's standing. There was other tables and a couple of tents, and I let them set up a tent right there. and the girl got saved. Everybody told me, I didn't know what was happening. And everybody told me she got saved at the same time my son got hurt. And I was like, wow, like, how cool is that? And then, like, cool that she got saved. So somebody got saved, but my poor kid got hurt. I mean, he's okay, but it was just, you know, you know how it is. Sometimes the enemy comes, and so he had to leave. He had to go, and I couldn't go with him. He was a big boy. He was a I don't know how old he was there. I can't remember. Probably uh what is he now? He's 23. So 21, that's 4 years, right? So he's what, 19, I guess? 19 there. Anyways, that was hard. It was very hard. These guys were having fun, which I love to see. I love it. I love it. Um, there's so many people hurting in the world. And I know it's not just about yeah, it's not just about giving people something to do. It's about giving them Jesus. That's why I'm here. I'm here to give people Jesus, because these things, they're great and they're fun, and it was entirely free. It's about Jesus. It is. It's giving people the chance and the opportunity to know, hey, if you just repent and believe, that was the whole goal of the whole thing. And it's always been the goal of everything that I do, is to share Jesus. That's it. Um, so obviously they still did it. They still did it after. I don't know if that was after or before. I don't know. I don't know. And you can't see all these pictures here on TT like you can on YT, but they were just there's the girl that offered to do all the cooking. It was her business. And we bought the stuff, we bought the supplies, and she offered to cook it, didn't even charge us. So shout out to her. She was amazing. She was a blessing. She never charged us a dime. Okay. Never a dime. She did it all. And it was just awesome. Just awesome. Um, I never knew these people at all. And she's the one that actually reached out to somebody and said, I want to know if they would put on the event. So I stood beside her. She's the oh man, what do you call them? I'm really not good with this stuff. But she wasn't the she was like in charge of a district. Like, I don't know what you call them, but she's part of the city, okay? Part of the city, and they each have like their own zones. And all three of them came, like all three of them from three different like zones. I didn't even know them. Like, I didn't have any idea who they were. That's my son. That was my son. Um, and there was just more pictures of families. I wish that wasn't there. Sorry. That's for a book. Okay. We won't talk about who was there before, because that's probably going to be in a book. I leave out the relationship because my family, my kids and I went through a lot with that relationship. And I told my son that maybe one day I'll write a book, because I was told to keep a diary and I did. So that's a whole bunch of pictures. I think that's the girl. This is the girl that got saved. That's the girl right there. They prayed with her at the exact same time. And I had no idea. None. She gave her heart to the Lord that day. Now, and that is the reason why. We don't know who all I don't know where I am in the pictures either. I have no idea. Oh, I see it. So these tents were all set up. And can I go to the next one? Okay. So I let people just set up things, but I probably I didn't know what I was doing. I probably should have like looked into things a little bit more. But the seating was all there. Everything was provided. Every last thing. Okay. Um, and we had, let me see what else I have here. Um, yeah, there she is doing some games. It was a really amazing opportunity for everybody in that area. There's a lot of other pictures, but I just won't go into them because it's all kind of the same thing. Some kids playing and stuff like that. And I don't want these videos to be too long because I wanted them to be digestible. So that was the event. Um, that was the event. And let me, how do I get out of that? How do I get out of that? Um, like that? Did I get out of it? No, I didn't. I guess I can't get out once I'm in. I don't know. Maybe we'll just do it like that for now. Anyways, so that was the event in 2021. And that was July. And that was way bigger than I had ever imagined or ever thought. Um, and we had so many bathroom porta potty things, like what, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, there must have been at least 8 or 10. I can't even remember. When I say there was more than enough, there was more than enough gift cards, more than enough bathrooms, more than enough food, more than enough. We never ran out of anything. Like, it was so amazing. God is amazing. Delane, God is amazing. I cannot tell it all. Just like that song. Um, it was awesome. I will never forget it. He does. He cares about all of this, all of these amazing things. So that was the summer of 2021. And then I'll tell you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, I'll do Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday nights is church. so so I won't be doing it on Wednesday, but tomorrow I will go and I'll share about the next. It was a program that we put on in December, which was another blessing. So that was the I'm still blown away by it, absolutely blown away by it. I hope that that kind of gives you some insight to, I had no money, I had no way, I had no experience, I had no idea what to do. So I want to encourage you, if God tells you to do something, just by faith, start walking in the direction, because I've seen God's hand over and over and over, and he'll do it for you. He'll do it for you. Whatever it is, Delane, if he's telling you to do something, just do it. I don't care if you think that you don't have money, he can provide. I'm talking to somebody, if you guys are just not sure, because you guys are going to see this later over and over again, that God is able. It's not about us. It's not about us. It's not about what we can afford, what we can afford. It is all about him. If you just believe, just believe, just believe. That's it. Just believe. Just put your faith in him. And if he says go, you say, okay, how am I going to go there? I just need you to tell me, just direct me. And you take the first step. Take that first step. And then you know what happens? He gives you the next step. And then he gives you the next step and the next step. And I'm going to tell you right now that it was only faith. That was it. I didn't have the funds. I never knew. I was not an event planner. I can't tell you. I knew nothing. I had nothing but obedience to give and a faith to put into Jesus. That was it. faith in him. So if you got that faith, even if you don't, because I had days where I was crying and I was scared, I was nervous, I was I was everything you're not supposed to be. And I sat in my office thinking, what's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't happen. And that's literally what was on my mind. I've got all these flyers out there. What is the worst thing that happens? It doesn't happen. So that is the worst thing that can happen, is that it doesn't happen. And I kind of rested in that. And I thought, you know what? I'll just have to deal with it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, right? Well, it happened, and God answered, and God provided more than we could ever dream or imagine. So this is your, if he could do it for me, he can do it for you. For real. Like for real. Please never think that you're too small. You don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just you. Put your faith in him. Put your faith in him and watch what he will do. Okay. I'm going to cry. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. That's day, and I know it went over 30 minutes, but that's day 5. And it was a huge day. I thank you so much for joining me. And be sure to join tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to go through day 6. And if you are new to me and you didn't see the first ones, go back and watch so you can kind of see the journey and where we are going, where we came from, and where I'm putting my faith to go next. So it is interesting, and you don't want to miss it. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Delane, have a wonderful, blessed night. Bye. Thank you. Not tonight, honey. No, not tonight.